If you love all things Marvel, Dice Thone X Men might just be for you. But which character is for you? We're going to go over these 4 characters and one bonus character that's pretty awesome. You're going to want to stick around for that one here on Legendary Tactics.
So our thanks to the Op Games for sponsoring this video and for providing us a review copy. Why not check out one of their great titles today?
Yeah, it's really kind of them to support our work here. We
Sure
really
was.
appreciate it. So very cool. So we've got 4 characters here, plus, as you said,
Yes,
you've alluded to,
bonus.
there's a bonus character.
Yes.
I like the bonus character better than all of these characters.
But wait, Flash.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
But
gems here.
in fairness, there are some challenging characters to deal with here. So NATO is our resident brain. So he's the one who's dealing with both Gambit and Jean Grey. They're both rated as 6 for complexity, so this is as hard as it gets. So tell us about Gambit
So
to begin.
Gambit, if you're familiar with the character in the comic books, he like throws cards that explode, and that's what his character does. The central kind of ability that he has are these 4 ace cards. And a lot of his abilities will allow him to do what they call accelerating. So you basically place these onto the cards to sort of charge them up. And then once they're full, once per turn, you can explode the card, and it gives you an attack modifier. So this one here adds 2 damage, and you regain up to 2 ace cards that have been flipped over. And then you flip it over, and then you have to regain them before you can, begin to charge them again. So that's kind of the central ability. There's also some neat abilities. Is a lot of it's actually the acceleration of the ace cards. It seems to be the main attack actually of his character. But there's a few kind of interesting things because his cards have suits on them, of course, being related to the card aspect of things. So this could flip a club to a heart or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you can change the numbers around. Essentially, it's the same dice manipulation that other characters have. There's also a few other effects. You can gain these tokens, which allow you to heal a player. So you can give it to a friend, for example, and heal them up, or to yourself.
Good in the team game, then.
Or to remove a negative status marker that's been placed by another player.
This game really does change depending on whether you're going head-to-head or whether it's a team game.
Yes,
because there's a lot of helpful alliance-related powers.
Absolutely. And there's also a token here, Disruption, where you place it, and at the beginning of that player's turn, they either have to lose 1 CP, one money, or take 2 damage, and then it wears off.
Losing though, okay, not just.
But it's built into some of these rolls here. If you roll 3 of a kind on the bow staff, for example,
Right.
then. And as far as an ultimate goes, you can accelerate these tokens here. An ace card 4 times. You gain one of these tokens, do a disruption, then you regain an ace card that had been flipped over, and then you do 11 damage. So it's pretty extensive, especially because you can blow up an ace card probably right away once you've accelerated it 4 times with this. So
Right.
yeah, so that's Gambit in a nutshell.
Okay.
Very nice. Okay, let's move on to Rogue. Rogue is a character who's very sassy. So if you're a player who likes some charm and some character like Sugar, Cloudy, Sweet Tea, Remy's Kiss.
Oh boy.
So you'll remember that Rogue is the character who has to wear these gloves because she can't touch people or she saps their life force. And so it makes relationships very difficult. And some of her spunkiness is, I think, reflected in her character. So I really like this status effect. So the influence marker, if I give that to you, then if you're afflicted with that, then at the start of your offensive roll phase, you roll it. Let's see how you would do here. Roll just 1.
Oh, just one die.
Yeah.
6.
Did you get a 1 to 3? No. Okay. So if you get a 1 to 3, then
I rolled 2.
It reduces. Nice. Awesome. For a 1 to 3, they get a fewer roll attempts. So if you were, so you would just have to roll the dice and you're just stuck with what you get.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
that's interesting.
That's a pretty cool
That's
ability.
pretty sassy.
My ability has been sapped.
Yes. Her second
Nice.
one is Ionic Energy, and this is essentially one that allows her to pay money to inflict more damage. So I can inflict 1 or I can inflict 2, and if I pay more, I can inflict up to 4 extra damage with
Okay.
that one. So that's pretty cool to charge up the spark and unleash it. And then last lastly, she's a flying character, so we have Skyward. And this is a positive status effect. So if I were to have this card, I'm fighting you, I fly up into the air, and depending on the die roll, so if you and your attacker we both roll, whoever gets the higher roll, if my outcome is greater, then I deal 3 damage back. If the outcome is equal, then I prevent 4 incoming damage.
Okay.
So some cool abilities there that make you think about attacking her. So,
Okay.
and if you look at her powers here, a lot of them are charging this stuff up. I particularly
And actually, a lot of what you call the money with the combat points. Looks like you're charging up.
Yes.
Those tokens there. I mean,
that's right.
Yeah.
This is the one that I really like, Leech.
Yeah.
So I can steal 2 health. I can steal 3 health. I can steal 4 health.
oh wow.
So,
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool.
Totally
You
true
can-
to her character.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're sapping the
Leading
energy.
down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would be aiming to hit that one quite
Yeah,
frequently.
but you also boost yourself, right?
That's
you
right.
Steal it. So
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, it's massive.
That's
So
a great-
it's a huge shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
So-
So moving on to Cyclops. Cyclops is like leadership. If you were going to look at him, he's like he's kind of the quasi leader of the X Men in some ways, and so that's kind of the focus with his. And there's leadership cards built into his deck, which actually they kind of stack, which is kind of neat too. They'll have cards where it says if you've already played a leadership card this turn, this happens, right? So you can kind of build momentum. His 3 main abilities are Battle Plan. And it's neat. It gives like a lot of variety options. So you can, with 1 token, you can examine opponent's hands. With 3 tokens, you can look at your deck. And if there's leadership cards in there, you can actually show them to your opponents and then keep them. And then you also have the idea of this parlaying it again with this another ability called the Focus Fire, which is a permanent +1 damage to your opponents.
Yeah,
You put
until
them
that
on them.
token can be removed.
Yeah,
so-
which can kind of you can stack
and that's
that
on incoming damage too.
to them, right? And
Yeah.
unless they can get rid of it, it stays there all game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
a pretty powerful a tool that you can use.
Yeah.
The other really neat thing is with Cyclops is the support feature, which with 1 token you can gain an extra CP. You can re-roll a die if you spend a token, which is neat. And for 3 tokens, you can actually draw a card.
So like every good leader, he's kind of flexible and just hangs out at the back and kind of like
and like,
messes with the meta of
And
the encounter.
If you look at his abilities too, it's the words like teamwork, never back down,
Yeah.
regroup, strafe, assault. So he's kind of giving those command kind
Yeah.
of orders in his different actions.
Yeah.
And then of course his super, which is the if you get all blast symbols, then he gets the optic blast, which is you gain 3 of the battles plans, 2 support, 2 focus fire.
Inflict 2 focus fire.
Yeah.
So if you throw them on one enemy each.
Or stack it, right? to
Well,
one
they
person.
can stack up to 2.
Right.
So you could have
Cool.
2 incoming damage every attack with that.
on your opponents, plus
Yeah.
and then plus 11
That-
damage.
Yeah. Jeez.
So pretty potent, pretty character here, and pretty
Okay.
neat.
Awesome.
And not too hard to learn.
Not too bad. No, yeah.
Okay.
And last is Jean Grey, apparently one of the more complex ones
Well,
to learn.
look at the number of
Lots of
powers and tokens.
But they're actually fairly straightforward. I guess there is a lot of them, but
Yeah. But the coolest thing is this upgrade.
yeah. Well, essentially, this becomes
The
Jean
Phoenix.
Grey to Dark Phoenix and alternates basically every turn. So,
Oh, okay.
so when Jean Grey is inactive, you get a lot of card draw. And when Dark Phoenix is active, you deal more damage,
Right.
essentially,
Okay.
in a nutshell. As far as these special abilities, we have Force Field, which if you have one of these, it halves the damage coming in. So your damage of 11 would
11?
only do like 5.
5
I
or
think
6,
it's rounded up, so it would do 6.
6 damage. Yeah.
Right? But it minimizes that.
Yeah.
Acuity, these tokens can be spent to reroll dice, gain combat points, or if you spend 4 tokens, you can inflict a Phoenix Burn, which I'll share with you. in a
I
sec.
like the Phoenix
Yeah.
Burn. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
It's like a residual damage,
Yeah,
right?
essentially. Yeah, well, I'll skip this one and go here. So if I have a Phoenix Burn on Rogue here, essentially it's 2 damage every time, every upkeep phase for Rogue.
Oh,
now
boy.
you can roll to get rid of it. If you roll a 5 or 6, it's removed. So it's not as persistent as
No,
yours.
Miss.
removed.
But it just sits there and,
Burning.
and does
Just-
2 damage every turn until
Wow.
it's removed.
Nice.
Without so yours depends on incoming attacks.
That's
But
right.
This is just
Passive. Yep.
thing. And then Flame Blast, where you can spend these tokens to basically boost the attack by 1 but if you spend 3 tokens, you boost it by 4. So it can help out. And and this is, as I said, it's, it just basically it alternates back and forth for...
Her abilities are really interesting, Nato, because a lot of it either deals with the mind part, with the Jean Grey part, or the Phoenix part. If you look at like the mind attack, the psychic multiplier, but then they have the Call of the Phoenix, and they have the Firebird. So they have the 2 different kind of characters, situated into her abilities.
Is basically just during the upkeep phase you switch. So you go.
Oh, that's where you flip it over.
Yeah. So it's not much of an ability; it's more just a description of
what's happening.
The nature is, but yeah, there's a bunch. So you can build up, a lot of. If you build up a lot of flame blasts and you hit someone with a Phoenix burn and so forth, you can, build up a pretty powerful attacks. And then of course the one true Phoenix, which is her super attack, you gain a force field for defense, acuity for multiple uses, and you deal 12 damage. So it's pretty straightforward. I don't see why Jean Grey Dark Phoenix is considered to be exceptionally advanced. I mean, I
think it's just the sheer volume of text, right?
Interaction.
Compared to Wolverine, where it's like you got one thing going on.
True, that's true.
And you're also flipping characters back and forth too. So you have a different.
It's all
like
all
a 2-in-1.
Yeah,
it is
for a newer gamer, a lot of the card text and the different abilities and the little finicky rules might be a challenge.
Yeah.
But overall, I would say she's probably the marquee player from this kit.
Yeah,
could
maybe.
be.
Yeah, I think you definitely get the sense that for whatever reason that she's built up to be like the one that everyone will want to play.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Now, we have a special surprise left for you here.
Oh, yes.
So, was there any other character that you guys would choose if you were choosing here? Like, I would take that one, so you wouldn't have that option.
Okay.
So, who would you guys go for?
I'd probably go with Gambit.
And I'm thinking Cyclops. I'd love to try Cyclops.
And
the leadership role.
I actually think Rogue would be quite fun too. So I think any of them would work.
Exactly.
There's a reason we presented these. Now, we promised you that we would have one sneak peek at a character who I think is actually even more fun than all of these. Let's take a look right now. Deadpool is the character that we're revealing today.
Awesome.
Get me out of this box. Now, you two, I don't think, have had the pleasure of seeing this character playing. So let's get that on the shelf.
Yes.
And fun little backdrop there.
Very cool.
Colorful.
And this one comes with the miniature Deadpool, which is rather nice.
Nice standee there.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And it also has the upgraded, so there's a coin to flip, and then there's sort of this more metallic, a little more substantial.
A bit of weight to it. Yeah.
We've got the card sleeves.
Nice.
So, and I have gone ahead and already sleeved this, so we're good there.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get our cards laid
there.
out.
Bye-bye.
His health dial, his combat dial, his dice.
Dice look pretty cool.
And with Deadpool, we've got a lot of donuts, onomatopoeia, and RPS.
Well, you can get a sense of the character that we're dealing with, because if you roll 4 of the fingers, you do finger guns, and if you say pew pew while pointing your finger guns in the air, you gain a free CP.
Yes.
So it's a bit of comic relief here.
Yes.
So if you're an actor and you want to get involved in your game, then this is a character that you might want to try. No. All right, so Deadpool has a variety of interesting characteristics, but as I say, he's a fun character.
Yeah.
If you want to spice up the game and get more player interaction, this is a good one to play. So let's just go through his powers first. So his donut, I can give that to somebody else. I'll give it to Cax.
All right.
And when you give the token, you give it to any player, they roll the dice and they can gain some health. So it's a way that you can help an ally, or I suppose you could give it to yourself if you want. Onomatopoeia, these pew pew, biff wood, bang yow, and blam smack. If I do that, I can change one of my die rolls to a stabby knife and cause more damage.
Okay.
So it's not as friendly as it sounds.
Yeah, okay.
But I do have to say those out loud while I'm playing the game, just to
part of that.
add some comic effect.
Yeah.
And RPS is rock, paper, scissors. The good thing with my character is I can cheat. So I do rock, paper, scissors. If I win, then I can get these benefits. So I can prevent 2 damage, I can add 2 damage, damage, and I can add 3 damage if my shoot card is active. This is my shoot card, and essentially, if you beat me over, let's have a quick round here.
Right.
So, ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh,
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. Had I not won, then I could say, "Hi, I'm shoot. I win. Suck it, loser," and I win the outcome and get the benefit anyways. So he's a fun character, but
and then some of the cards like. You can have combos like He Who Smelt It and Dealt It.
And dealt it is a separate card?
So you can get extra
awesome.
damage if you play them in combination.
Nice.
Do you feel lucky where you can, they roll a dice, and if the die value matches their number, they heal. Otherwise, they receive 3 damage. So you can muck around with things.
Nice.
The Chimichanga, which if it's the last card in your hand and you play it, you can take any one of your
abilities,
gain any status.
Cool.
There, and the Sound of an Eclair. So you gain extra bonus donuts or draw a card. So just fun character.
I like how we've got 2 positive status, but then the one says it's a unique status. They don't even know is it positive, is it negative? Who knows?
So if you're lucky enough to roll 5 masks, then you get his ultimate.
The 4th wall.
And the 4th wall. And this is so you're going to gain a positive status from any of your opponents. So you can gain something positive from their tableau.
Cool.
You're going to gain a donut, or gain a donut.
Yeah.
You can also, if your shoot card has become inactive because you already used it, flip her back.
Oh, nice.
And deal 14 damage.
14 damage is
so it's pretty hefty.
Yeah, that's pretty hefty.
So
that's heavy duty. And he's got a heal factor, which is apropos and also handy.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's fantastic. So that's Deadpool. Let us know in the comments which of the characters in this video have you enjoyed the most or would you like to play? Now get out there.
Get gaming.
And be legendary.